With Instagram likes going away, I thought this would be the perfect time to talk engagement and engagement rate. So why don't you go ahead, grab yourself a pen and a piece of paper, and let's get episode 101 started right now. Hey there, welcome to the Lora Shipman Show. We hang out here weekly to talk about things like social media, entrepreneurship, marketing, tools, strategies, tips, and it all starts right now. Hey there, before we get started with this show, I just want to share my passion with you. I love teaching people just like you how to master social media for business, breaking it down into easy to consume and easy to execute steps so that you can see immediate results. So whether you want to start a social media consultancy or grow your brand's presence on social media, I can help. I can help you get started and master all the things that you need to know. So I want you to go over to my website. It is filled with resources, tools, tips, and courses. Visit lorashipman.com. That's LORA shipman.com to get all the goods. Now, you ready for the show? I know I am. Let's get started. Okay, friends, let's talk engagement and engagement rate and why it's so important. Here's the deal. Ever since Instagram announced that the likes were going away, so that means people who are stumbling across posts or going through posts in their feed will no longer be able to see how many likes someone else's post received. The only way you'll be able to see likes is just on your own content. So your content, you're going to be able to look at it and you can say, hey, I got 25 likes, or hey, I got 3 likes, or whatever. You're the only person who's going to be able to see that. So this is why it's so important now that we start designing and crafting our content to encourage engagement. Now, what I really want you to understand is what engagement is. So engagement is actually what I like to call audience involvement. Like, how involved is your audience? And it goes way beyond a like. It actually takes effort from your audience member to engage with a post. So what does that look like? It can look like any number of things. And I'm just going to go through a little short list because there's a lot more things that count as engagement. But some of the most obvious ones are going to be a comment, a share. So if somebody shares your post to their story, if somebody saves your post to refer to later, profile visits, like how many times do people click from your profile or from your post to your profile, and how many follows you get as a result of that one post. So what will happen is Instagram will see somebody who lands on your post and then clicks to your bio and then clicks the follow button. That's all engagement. And there's other things that count as engagement as well. Let's take carousel posts, for example. Those are those posts where you can put up to 10 images attached to one caption, and then you can swipe left to see all of the different images, right? That counts as engagement. Every time somebody swipes left on those multiple pictures, that means that audience member is engaged. They want to see more. They want to see what that next slide is going to be. Other things that count as engagement would be people sending you DMs, or people clicking on the call now button, or people clicking through to your website. Any sort of activity that happens as a result of the content or your bio or whatever you have out there on Instagram, anything that encourages activity from an audience member means engagement, equals engagement. So why does all of this matter? Why does engagement matter? It sends a signal to both you, Instagram, and your audience as to how valuable your content really is. And when you get those signals coming in and you have high value content out there, then your content and your profile and your account, it's going to be opened up to a lot more people. And that's ultimately what we want, right? So before, people used to say, well, you need to create content, multiple times every single day. So maybe they'll say create content 2 or 3 times a day for 7 days because it's a numbers game. Well, now that's not so much the case. And many people are pulling back with how much content they're actually putting out there. And instead, what they're doing is they're focusing on really valuable content that's going to trigger one of these types of responses from their audience. So I want you to think about your content for a moment. How valuable is your content to your audience members? Like, are you really taking the time to craft something important to them? So we talk about value, or at least I talk about value a lot. And that's going to be my first tip here, is taking a look at your content and looking to see if you're posting for just posting's sake, or if you're really posting with value. And what counts as value? And I think a lot of people struggle with this, and I break it down into a couple of different categories. I think that value can be educational. I think it can be, so you're teaching somebody how to do something, right? Or you're giving tips, or you're telling them how to do it themselves. So that's educating. You're teaching somebody something. Another way content can be valuable is through entertaining. People use social media as an escape, right? There are several accounts that I follow on Instagram that just crack me up. And when I want to laugh or I want to be entertained, I will go to those accounts and, have fun with them. So that's another one. A third one is motivational and inspirational. We've seen those accounts that people follow just because for some reason, it just gets you going. I have a couple accounts that I follow that inspire me or just get me motivated. And I love those accounts. And then there's accounts that I follow because I get rewarded. And what do I mean by rewarded? Well, that could be, I know I'm going to get like a really good download from that person. Or I know that it's one of my favorite brands, and because I follow them online on Instagram, they're going to offer me either a flash sale someday, or they're going to offer me a special coupon or discount code or something like that. Those are the different ways that you can add value to your audience. Now let's take your post one step further. So you figured out how you're going to provide value to your audience. You're going to teach them something, you're going to motivate them, you're going to inspire them, you're going to entertain them, or you're going to give them some sort of reward. So we've got that post going. Now you want to ask yourself, is it shareable? What do I mean by that? What I mean is, are you going to make your audience member look good because they're sharing something of value? So let's take this as an example. Let's say I do a really good training on Instagram and one of my audience members sees it and they say, oh my gosh, I know 5 people right now who could use this because it's going to change their life on Instagram. It's going to take their business from here to there, and I'm going to look good because I'm the one, not me, but my audience member is going to look good because they're the one who found Lora's content, and they're going to look good because they took the time to share it with people who care or it would really matter to. Does that make sense? So make sure your content is easy to share and that people want to share it because it's going to make them look good. Think of a share as a recommendation. When you recommend someone to someone else, you want to make sure that you're passing on a good recommendation because you don't want to look bad, right? So that's why I say that your content, it really needs to make the other person look good. Otherwise, if it's not going to put them in a positive light, people aren't going to share your stuff. Okay, so just to recap really quickly, so far we've taken a good look at our content, made sure we're not putting things up on Instagram just to post for the day. The second thing is we're adding value. The third thing is we're making it shareable. We're making that content really good and shareable. The fourth thing I want you to do is go deep. So I don't want you to put up a post there and just be very surface. I want your posts to be deep and meaty. They include lots of details. They prompt people to want to hit the save button because there's so much information in there that they can't possibly retain it, but they're going to go back several times to get the little tips, or maybe they're going to go back several times to implement something. Or they're going to go back several times because it really made them laugh or really motivated them and they need to see that powerful message more than once. Okay, if you take nothing away from this podcast, but this one tip that I'm going to give you now, you're golden. I want you to think about how you can use carousel posts for your account. Now, we talked about this at the beginning. A carousel post is a caption that includes up to 10 different images that people can swipe through. So I love this for transformation posts where you show somebody going through a transformational journey. I like it for teaching people step-by-step processes. I like it for before and after pictures. I like it to tell a story. If you're taking somebody along with you on your daily journey and it tells a story of your day, do that. However, you can put 10 pictures together and link them together that keeps people intrigued and keeps them swiping left until they've hit all 10 items. You're going to be doing great for engagement. So really think about how that relates to your business. Figure out how you can take your audience through a series of slides and get creative with it, because that's what people are craving right now is creativity online. My final tip about getting engagement is just basically asking for it. It's so simple, but sometimes we forget, or maybe we feel awkward, or maybe we feel presumptuous, or whatever the issue is that we don't ask for it. Ask for it. Ask people to leave you a comment or an opinion, something about the post. Ask people to send you a DM about something within the post, or just tell people to take action. Maybe it's to go to your bio and click the link there to get a free download. Whatever it is, think about how you can get your audience to engage with you so that you keep that engagement cycle going. Okay, just a quick recap, because I like to recap. Content. Number one, content. What are you doing for content? Are you just throwing things up there, just hoping for the best, or are you really thinking about what your content plan should be? Number two, value. Are you offering value every single time? Like, why would people care, right? That you're posting about breakfast, if you took a picture of breakfast. Why? Why do people care? Ask yourself that. Number three, is it shareable? Does it make your audience look good if they share that with their followers? Number four, go deep, not broad. Get meaty, get into the details, and really help people with your content. Number five, carousel posts. Use them. Minimally once a week. If you could do more than once a week, that would be ideal. As long as it keeps people swiping through them, do that. Number six is ask for the engagement. Don't be shy about asking for it. People need to know what to do next when they are on your content. Okay, so now here comes the question. You want to know, well, what is my engagement rate, right? How do you even calculate that? And what does it look for? Well, there's an actual, words are hard for me today. Let's try this again. There is a calculation that you can use to measure engagement rate. Okay, you can measure how well a post is doing. So to do this, what you want to do is you want to go to your post, and underneath the post, I believe it's on the lower left-hand corner of the image, there's something that says View Insights. Tap on those blue words that say View Insights and plug the numbers you see there into the following equation. Okay, and here's the equation. You might want to write this down. Engagement rate equals, and then in brackets, you're going to do likes plus comments plus saves, close the bracket, divided by impressions times 100 equals a percentage. Now, I will put that in the show notes because I know sometimes if you're writing stuff down, maybe you didn't hear it right, but engagement rate equals, open bracket, likes plus comments plus saves, close bracket, divided by impressions times 100 to get a percentage. So why is it important to know this percentage? It's important because when you see it as a percentage of how much engagement you're getting per post, you know what type of posts really resonate with your audience. A like can give you a glimpse into that, but the engagement is where the gold is. And so if your engagement rate is high, you need to keep on a certain type of post, you need to keep creating that type of content for your audience because that's clearly what they love. I get it. Creating high value content is time consuming because you really need to put some thought into it. So this is where I may suggest that less is more. Post less during the week with your regular feed posts. Engage more on stories, like be present on stories. And that's like a whole nother podcast down into itself. But the more you show up in stories on a daily basis, your audience gets to know you. And then when you post something really valuable in your regular feed posts, they're going to share it out. So don't put so much pressure on yourself to be creating a really high value piece of content every day. Think about doing maybe 3, maybe 4 times a week, and be good with that and be comfortable with that. And then engage with your audience in stories, because that's pretty much easier to do because it's 10 to 15 seconds at a time that you're popping in and out several times a day. But we will go, if you guys want a podcast on stories and how to be more intentional with stories and strategic, let me know in the comment section of this podcast, or send me a DM on Instagram saying that you heard, screenshot it actually, this podcast, and send it to me on Instagram, letting me know that yes, you want a whole thing on story strategy, because there is a strategy behind it. And again, it's going to help you in the engagement section of Instagram. So those are my tips for you today. I hope these are helpful. Go ahead and go to the show notes. I will give you that engagement rate calculation, and maybe I'll just summarize the top 6 things that we talked about today. I hope this is helpful. I look forward to chatting with you again soon. Until then, stay social, my friends. Hey there, I just want to say thank you for spending time with me here today. I know your time is super valuable, which is why I am dedicated to providing lots of usable, actionable information in the shortest amount of time possible. Before you go, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a future episode. And if you have ideas or topics you would like me to cover in an upcoming show, let me know about it in the comment section provided.